What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news concerning Gennady Triple G Golovkin. There's rumors that Gennady Golovkin is planning to go up to 168, the super middleweight division, to take on the number one champ, the WBA, the Ring Magazine fighter, Callum Smith. That's right. Callum Smith is 25-0 with 18 KOs, no losses, no draws. He's the guy amongst guys there. That would be a good move for Gennady Golovkin. That's if it happens, though. I think all the benefits would be, first of all, you would get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people speculated. A lot of people criticized him for not moving up earlier to fight, Roberto Azerto Ramirez or Uskatagi and fighters like that. At that time, even Andre Ward, you know what I mean? Even meeting him at a catch weight. Because remember all the criticism that he had when he was claiming that nobody wanted to fight him. These fighters that claim that no one wants to fight him, you know what I mean? So they can move up. Like I say about Spence, like I said about other fighters that claim that. Well, he was no exception. Golovkin should have went up and he should have fought these guys. Now, my thing is, it would be a good comparison. A good cross comparison with Canelo Alvarez and what he's doing with DAZN. He signed a $365 million deal with DAZN, and he's fighting Rocky Fielding, right? So Rocky, he has a piece of that title, but it's nothing, and it doesn't compare to Callum Smith's title because he is that number one guy. Okay, so he's the guy to beat at 168, so that's the fight that he should take. And with his accolades still intact after a close fight with Canelo Alvarez, I think that would be the best thing to do. Because if you compare Rocky to Callum, there's no comparison. Callum beats Rocky, because, Rocky has a portion of that title, whereas Callum has the Ring Magazine and the WBA Super. Okay, so that is that. Golovkin beating Rocky at first of all, at 36 years of age, that just skyrockets his profile, and it'll be in Liverpool, England. We know the UK fans are alive. Well, it's a different energy over there. They're pretty much the mecca of boxing because they support their fighters more than any place in the world, pretty much. Okay. So I think the money would be good because they're going to come out. They're going to pack the house. Okay. So my only question is, why didn't Golovkin do that sooner? You know what I mean? It's like, why don't I kick Golovkin in the ass, or Tom Loeffler rather, for running after Canelo Alvarez to get a fight with him when he could have done this beforehand. He could have done this when he was undefeated and would have had a better bargaining chip because no one would have beat him. Sure, he got a draw of Canelo Alvarez, and a lot of people thought that he beat Canelo Alvarez, so that draw really is not important. After all, no one really talks about the draw or the first draw that Canelo Alvarez had. You don't even remember who that was, do you? You know what I'm saying? So it really doesn't hold any water. You know what I'm saying? So he should have done that before fighting Canelo again, which though it was a good fight. It was a good fight. It was a come-forward fight by Canelo. He brought the fight to Golovkin. Golovkin boxed him, and then they just fought each other from rounds 1 through 12, or should I say rounds 13 through 24. You know what I mean? So it was a great fight. I'm not taking anything away from the fight. I'm questioning business-wise, why didn't Golovkin try this earlier? Maybe he's trying this simply because Canelo's doing it. I think that's why he's going to 168, because he could probably campaign for a fight there. But nonetheless, regardless of what he does and the win that he has, he still has to sign a DAZN contract if he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. I'm sorry. That's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to be. It doesn't matter who addresses it. It could be Oscar De La Hoya. It could be Eddie Hearn. It could be me. You know what I mean? But it still remains the same. Canelo cannot fight off that platform. Okay, so if that's what his plan is, if he wants to meet Canelo at 168, and I'm thinking it is, because I think he has a wild hair up his ass to fight Canelo again. I don't know why. I mean, if you think you beat him twice the first 2 times, why would you want to fight him again if you're skeptical of the judges? Okay, but that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm just speculating on that, but I do think that's what Golovkin's trying to do. But that seems like a great move. At 36 years of age, now the other question would be, what kind of Golovkin would be at 168? You know what I mean? What type of fighter would he be? You know, in the last couple fights, he's came in under the middleweight division. So how would he even look up there? You know what I mean? At 8+, you know what I'm saying, pounds that you have to make on the scale. How would he look at that weight? You know? But the good thing is he has sparred many, you know, light heavyweights and super middleweights, and he did that in, you know, training for a lot of previous events. So, you know, I don't think, and then Golovkin's a tough bastard. He can take punches like that. I don't, you know what I mean? But we have to see. We have to see what that's going to pertain, how that fight's going to happen, or if it even will happen. But I hope it happens, because Golovkin will be challenged by a guy that's bigger, because he's not really accustomed to guys that are bigger like that, him fighting bigger guys. The biggest guy I think he's fought was Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs came in at about probably 170+. You know what I mean? Because he lost the belt because of the hydration clause of the, I think the WBO belt he lost, or no, was it the WBO? One of the belts he lost. He lost the ability to, no, it was the IBF, the same belt he has actually now. You know what I mean? He lost the opportunity to get that belt because of that hydration. So Danny Jacobs was probably the biggest guy he fought. Okay, so I think that is a definite challenge with Callum Smith, fighting that guy up there, you know, in his hometown. You know what I mean? And this is a good fighter. So let's see what else Golovkin has to offer, because if you notice, Golovkin was knocking everyone out. Okay, he was knocking everyone out. So, you know, until he got to Danny Jacobs, of course, that stopped his knockout streak, you know, and then he fought Canelo and had a draw with Canelo, and then he fought Canelo again, but before he fought Canelo, he fought Vanes Martirosyan and knocked him out in 2 rounds. So, you know, it's one of those things like, and Vanes Martirosyan was really not a middleweight. Come on. So I want to know what he can do up there. I want to know if, you know, Canelo's head just made a stone, or, you know what I mean? Because he at least dropped Danny Jacobs being as big as he is. You know, it's a lot of question marks I want to see. You know, what can he do up there? How can he handle a size fighter like that? All that, you know what I mean? I want this fight to happen. I want Golovkin to go to England and fight this guy. You know, and he's an undefeated fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's never tasted defeat. Golovkin has. Let's see if that bothers him mentally. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it got into his head. Dude, I got a loss on my record. You know what I'm saying? I'm 1-1 now. You know what I mean? 1 loss, 1 draw. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, that 1 loss reveals a lot of fighters. It reveals that, hey, can I bounce back, or is it over for me? A lot of people don't bounce back from that. Ask Fernando Vargas. You know what I mean? So it happens, you know? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Gennady Golovkin possibly fighting Callum Smith. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.